Good day to all my students. This is a CS 413 Software Engineering 2. So for this course, Engineering 2, this is a continuous to CS 322 Software Engineering 1. So it is the implementation phase during which the system is actually built and which finally software is put into operation, so supported and maintained. So in this course, the student begins to focus on the tasks associated with building the system, ensuring that it performs as designed and developing documentation for the system. So this module further examines the activities needed to install the software and successfully convert the organization to using it. It also discusses past implementation activities such as system software support, software maintenance, and project assessment. So finally, the training and organizational issues surrounding the installation are more complex and challenging because they focus on people, not on computer, right? So, okay, actually, the learning outcomes of this course class is we can undergo system construction process, including system test and documentation, and then gonna perform software installation process and develop migration plan and outline post-installation process and management plan. Okay, so my students are encouraged to read the full content of this module. This module is designed to integrate the theory into practice, where you can actualize tests for expected output of this course. So you can create actually by group. I already grouped you into two, so you're gonna create your group chat in your group, okay? And also may I remind in regard for the academic integrity, the honesty is required for all students. The plagiarism to take and pass off as one's own work. So the work or ideas of another is a form of academic dishonesty. So the penalties may be assigned for any form of academic dishonesty. You can see it to the student's handbook or our college manual. So sanction for the breaches in academic integrity may include receiving a grade of fail on a test or assignment. In addition, the Director of Students' Affairs may impose further administrative sanction. Okay, so this is actually our midterm coverage class from the prelim to midterm lessons. So we can tackle the preliminaries, the introduction, okay, and the managing the programming process, which is under the managing the programming process, we can able to discuss about assigning programming tasks, coordinating activities, managing the schedule, and for the software testing, under the software testing, we're gonna discuss about the test planning, unit test, integration test, system test, and acceptance test. For the developing documentation, we also discuss the type of documentation, designing documentation structures, and lastly, discussion of deliverables, of course, the assessment process. Okay, so moving into implementation, right? So in this segment, you as student will carry out the time-consuming and costly task of writing programs. So at the same time, prepares plans for a variety of tests that will verify that the software performs as expected. So several different types of documentation. Okay, so will also be designed and during this part of the software engineering projects. So these are the learning objectives of this course class. Okay, so before that I can show you the expected deliverables. Okay, this is the expected deliverables class, the programming task assignment, the proof of coordinating activities, programming schedules, test plan, system documentation, and user documentations. So this is the learning objectives of this course. At the end of this course, you're going to be able to familiar with the system construction process. and can explain different types of tests and when to use them. Describe how to develop user documentations. Okay, so for the introduction. So as the software engineering 2 begins, the focus on students' minds is construction of the software. So a major components of building the software is writing programs, right? In fact, some people mistakenly believe that programming is the focal point of software engineering. Eng 2 consists of developing and testing the system software, documentation, and new operating procedures. So, developing system software can be the largest single components of any software engineering project in terms of both time and cost. Since system analyst is usually not actually doing the programming, we concentrate our attention on managing the program process. Right? So while the programmers are transforming program specification into working program code, so the systems analyst will be designed a variety of tests that will be performed the new software. So as the program are finalized, the systems analyst may conduct these tests to variety, to verify that the system actually does what it was designed to do. So during this segment, okay, so it is also the responsibility of the system analyst to finalize the system documentation and develop the user documentation. Now here we go, the managing the programming process. Okay, so the programming process is quite well understood and generally flows smoothly. When the software engineering project fails, it is usually not because the programmers were unable to write the programs. Flaws in analysis, design, or project management are the leading contributors to the project failure. So, in order to ensure that the process of programming is conducted successfully, these are the tasks that the project manager must do to manage the program effort: assigning programming tasks, coordinating the activities, and managing the programming schedule. So this is really very important class, okay? So here it goes, the managing the programming process. First, okay, so under the managing programming process, you're gonna first assign the programming task. So this is the assigning of programming tasks. First, we can identify the programming support required for the constructing the software in terms of the numbers and skills level of programming, same as through inner groupings. So now second, assign program module to the program staff or your member. And the third one, take steps to ensure that skill deficiencies are eliminated through additional training or through mentoring arrangement with experienced individual. Okay. So continually, second, you have to coordinate every activities. First, have a weekly project meetings to discuss any changes to the system that have arisen during the past weeks. And then the second, you have to create and follow standards that can range from formal rules for naming files to form that must be completed when goals are reached to programming guidelines. The third one, set up 3 areas in which programmers can work: a development area, a testing area, and a production area. Okay? Next, for managing the program schedule, you have also to manage your schedule. Okay? So you're gonna always refine time estimates as the project progresses during construction. Second, and under managing your schedule, you have to prepare for scope creep. So the most common causes for schedule problems when new requirements are added to the project after the system design has been finalized. Third, watch minor slipages carefully and update the schedule accordingly. And then the fourth one is you have to create a risk assessment that tracks potential risk along with an evaluation of their likelihood and potential impact. So that's under the how you're going to manage your schedule. Next, for the software testing. There we go. So, and now for the software testing. Okay, so writing program is a fun. Yes, that's true. Creative activity. So testing and documentation aren't consequently, they receive less attention than writing the programs. So programming and testing are very similar to writing and editing. However, no professional writer would stop after writing the first draft. So most professional organizations devote more time and money to testing than to writing the programs in the first place. Okay? So here we go. This is the test plan we're going to do. So first, you're going to create your test plan. Okay? Because remember, a program is not considered finished until it has passed each testing. For this reason, programming and testing are tightly coupled. Okay, so you have to develop a test plan that defines a series of tests that will be conducted. Actually, I will gonna give you the template for the sample test one. You will going to create that one. Okay, a test plan I will show you later. I will show you later the sample test plan. A test plan often has 20 to 30 pages, with a separate page for each individual test in the plan. And then you're going to develop a series of test cases to ensure that the quantity is validated. And that's really very important. Next, the unit test. So this unit test is under the test plan. So what you're going to do in the unit test? First, you have to focus one unit, a program or program module that performs a specific action that can be tested. Second, we're going to be performed after the programmer has developed and tested the code and believes it to be error-free. And then the third one, there are two approaches, the black box and the white box. Okay, so still under the test plan, we're gonna integrate the test. So integration the test, we have to assess whether a set of module or programs that must work together do so without error. Second, ensure that the interfaces and linkages between different parts of the system work properly. And then the third, at this point, modules have passed their individual unit test. The fourth one, there are four approaches: user interface testing, use scenario testing, data flow testing, and system interface testing. So that's under integration test. Now let's proceed to the system test. The system test is also under the test plan. Number one, you have to ensure that all modules and programs work together without error, similar to integration testing, but is much broader in scope. The third one is you're gonna have to examine how well the system meets business requirements and its usability, security, performance, and under heavy load. And then the fourth one is you have to test the system documentations. Okay, so under the acceptance test, so next you're gonna go to the acceptance test, wherein the acceptance test is also under the test plan. So in the acceptance test, again, here we go. Number one, done by the user with support from the project team. The second, you have to confirm that the system is complete, meet the business needs that prompted the system to be developed, and is acceptable to the users. Okay, here it goes. Now proceed to developing documentation. Yeah. So under the developing documentation, you will gonna do the system documentation. Okay, so what is the system documentation? It is intended to help programmers and system analysts understand the application software and enable them to build it or maintain it after the system is installed. So that's the task for the system documentation, whoever you're going to assign in this area. For the user documentation, you have to include user manuals, training manuals. This is how you're going to prepare, or you need to prepare for the user documentation. Okay, you have to include user manuals, training manuals, and online help systems. It is designed to help the user operate the system. Okay, so for enter the type of documentation. So we have here types of documentation. Okay, so types of documentation. Okay, so number one, reference documents. So what is this reference documents class? It is also called the help system. This is designed to be used when the user needs to learn how to perform a specific functions. Example, updating a field, adding a new record. So writing reference documents requires special care because users are often impatient or frustrated when they begin to read them. Second, procedures manuals. So you have to describe how to perform business tasks. Each item guides the user through a task that requires several functions or streams in the system. Therefore, each entry is typically much longer than an entry in a reference document. And then the third one, tutorials. This is also very important, tutorials. You have to teach people how to use major components of the system. So each entry in the tutorial is typically longer still than the entries in the procedures manuals. So, and the entries are usually designed to be read in sequence, whereas entries in reference documents and procedure manuals are designed to be read individually, right? So that's the type of documentations. So we also have to design a document structure. That designing document structure. Right, so what you're gonna do first is you have to identify different types of topics and navigation control that must be included. Second, the topic A is the set of commands and menus in the user interface. So it's very useful if the user wants to understand how particular commands or menu is used. The third one, from the topics B, are more often useful set of topics focuses on how to perform certain tasks. Usually, those and they use scenarios from the user interface design. So these topics walk the user through the set of the steps needed to perform some task. The fourth one is for the topic C, are the definition of important terms. So these terms are usually the entities and data elements in the system, but sometimes they also include commands. So it is very important to include the terms. Okay. So here we go. So those are now the summary of our lessons. Class A. I also have to upload this one into the Blackboard platform. You're gonna download it and you're gonna read it, and then I will give you the sample test plan later. Okay, so this is the discussion of the deliverables. This is the assessment task that we're going to do, class. Okay, so any questions or clarification, you can send me a message in our group chats, and also you can free to ask on our official schedule every Thursday, once a week, every Thursday in our official time. Okay, for more clarifications. Okay, so this is the assessment task. Throughout the course, you have to perform the first 3 deliverables of this module. You're gonna see slide 3. So the mode of preparation is left to the discretion of the project manager of the team. So you're gonna choose the project manager of the team. Okay, and you have to also choose the other team or the members. Either they are a programmer or a designer. You have to assign every member in a certain task. Okay, I want everybody in the group will perform or will cooperate in a team. Okay, so you have to ensure that the construction of the system will be completed in 2 months, from September to October, based on your Gantt chart. So you have to provide proof of your team's activity. This is what I'm going to collect: weekly meetings and minutes. If possible, you're going to record this one. If you do the meeting, since we are not on face-to-face, you are now doing online, so you can have a video call, or you can use our Google Meet or Zoom to have the meetings in minutes, and then you keep your record. You keep records for your weekly meetings and minutes. So, second, picture of your team during the software construction. I need this description of prices and challenges. Okay, and then the team, individual, and team skills assessment. Second, you have to present the results of your test plan before the panelists to be scheduled in October 2021. Remember to include all 4 different tests. Submit. Now, third one, you have to submit both system and user documentation on schedule midterm exam. Okay, the class. So that's all. Thank you, and okay, thank you class, and God bless everyone.